Okay, so let's talk configuring your marketing channels in HubSpot. Just move myself out of the way there, make myself a little bit bigger so you can see me. This is under settings, and then scrolling down to marketing and dropping down the menu. This is where we set up, as I say, set up the various tools. This isn't about using those tools, this is just about setting them up. Okay, so we navigate first to the ads page. And you can see as it appears, it's very straightforward. You simply connect an account and then choose which type of account you're going to select, and then HubSpot will walk you through connecting that account. Easy as that. From a lead syncing perspective, you can sync your leads into lead generation. You can sync your lead generation ads and leads in HubSpot so that they go into HubSpot and are designated as leads, which can then feed through into the prospecting page. So it's really useful. This is where you'd set up your pixels for Facebook, particularly, and you can add, as you're probably aware, if you're an ads person, you can add the pixels to the Facebook page and to your website to make sure that the two things talk to each other, and that allows you to match audiences between your Facebook page audiences and your website audiences. And you've also got your ROI page, and this is where you configure what ROI is from your perspective. Is it revenue from deals? Is it estimated revenue? Company currencies can be set here, and that kind of thing. So relatively straightforward, getting it all set up. Just connect the accounts and work through the rest of the tabs. Similar with email. If we click onto the email section, what we're doing here is configuring the marketing emails, right? So these are the emails that go out, bulk emails, if you like, one-to-many emails. You can configure the footer. We can configure the branding of the email here, the colors and the fonts that we want to use. We can import some fonts if we want to do that. We can configure the personalization here, and we will edit the contact properties and the company properties and the owner properties that we want by clicking into the edit defaults, and that will allow us to select and then set the default values for each of these. Okay, so if we wanted to set a default value for first name, as a for instance, we'd go into here, and I've got that set to friend. Now what that means is if I don't have a first name for my marketing email, then HubSpot will substitute the word friend. So if I use a dear first name token and I don't know what that person's name is, it'll say dear friend. So it's really quite valuable. Can also configure our email subscriptions here, and this is where we go into make sure that what we send people once they've subscribed to us is the correct thing. So we can select the correct themes and the correct pages, and then we can choose to who to send to, whether to send to unengaged contacts. When we don't want to send to unengaged contacts, we can switch that on or off here. We can send a resubscription email, and that's to let people know they can opt themselves back in. You'd have to create an email if you wanted to do that, and send a compliance email if you want to have copies of the marketing emails that you sent here. And you can also switch on double opt-in if that's what you want there. So configure the emails that get sent for communication, subscription, and backup preferences there. The subscription types we can set from an email perspective here as well. So these are the types that I can opt my users, my subscribers into. So I've got a contact alert, I've got an event sign up, I've got a blog subscription, I've got a customer service communication, I've got marketing information, and a one-to-one type of subscription. And you can see those subscriptions are active here. If I wanted to create a new subscription, I can do that here. I can just set the language for the subscription, give it a name and a description, and then choose the purpose of that subscription and the method of communication. Do that all there, and that will be added here, which then allows me to opt people in or out of those subscriptions in the CRM itself. We're also controlling our email tracking here. We can track opens and we can track clicks or not. We can switch those on. You can manage the domain that are being referenced from the HubSpot domain. So this is what allows the client receiving the emails to check your sender reputation, and when it's good, it means you've got more chance of that email getting through. Your source tracking can be added to all your URLs here, or only to URLs without existing tags, or you can choose not to add source tracking tags, and identity tracking is configured here. You can switch that on or off as well. When it comes to the SMTP tab, what we're doing here is using what's called a transactional email add-on. So this is if you want to send, as it says here, a large amount of receipts or account updates, system messages, and you don't want to use your marketing contacts to do that. You don't want to use your marketing email sends to do that. It's just a transactional email. It has to be sent by contract or by law even. So if you've got a large amount of them, if you're e-commerce, for instance, you can set up a transactional email add-on there. Okay, so that's the email section. Let's have a quick look at SMS. Again, we're not looking at the tools themselves, we're just looking at the setup. So in order to use SMS in HubSpot, you need to buy it, basically. You can see here that this is only available from US-based numbers, which is great if you're in the US. If you're not, it's a bit more of a problem. But we can also integrate services such as Kixi, that's calling and text messages, and you can integrate WhatsApp as well. So we can actually send WhatsApp if we want to. So SMS settings only where it applies, really. Let's have a look at our forms here. So this is the form style. We can adjust the font and the colors, button colors, and so on here. We can adjust our submission settings. Do we want to allow submissions without an email address to create the contact? Or do we want to enable live validation of form fields? You can see how I've got those switched on. And then we can check whether or not to accept non-HubSpot forms. So if you've got a form on your website and it's a Gravity form or a WordPress form or whatever else it is, HubSpot can find those forms and bring them in. So you don't get as good information from a non-HubSpot form as you would from a HubSpot form, but it's sometimes worth the hassle. Maybe those forms will look a bit better, which is why you want to use them. You can see here you can also set contacts from non-HubSpot forms to marketing contacts as well. We can do that automatically. That's switched on there. So that's the forms setting in marketing tools. And finally, social, which is exactly like adverts. This is where we connect the various social networks that we want to connect just by clicking on Connect Account, choosing the social network that you want to connect, and then just following the instructions as HubSpot puts them in front of you. Just click yes, no. You can also see that you'll get warnings here when accounts have expired. So occasionally things like Twitter and Facebook and indeed LinkedIn disconnect after a certain amount of time. So just as a security thing, we don't leave them open. But you can see it's pretty straightforward to reconnect. Again, you just click on the reconnect, accept the authorization tag that comes up, and there you go, that'll be reconnected. We don't want to create a post. Simple as that, really. So yeah, again, this is not how we're going to use these tools. This is how we just connect these tools. Okay, so that's the accounts tab. Let's have a look at publishing. This allows us to create different times at which we publish. So if we're going to publish automatically, if we're going to set scheduling, it'll allow us to choose what times we're going to publish. We can set out a publish now by default. So instead of being publishing on the schedule by default, we can publish now by default. You can publish like a human, which basically means, as you can see here, within 10 minutes of the chosen time. So the 11 o'clock on a Tuesday, or all of the 11 o'clocks, they'll go out 10 minutes, up to 10 minutes before or 10 minutes after 11 o'clock, which is meant to be a bit more human. You can also delay the next post until the next available time slot. And you can publish from your browser if you've installed the Chrome extension, which is pretty cool. So that just allows you to create a social post from a web page that you're on when it's switched on. You can also connect your short link tool here. So if you've got a bit.ly short link tool, for instance, connect it up here, and that will place short links into your social posts rather than the full link. We can also configure our email notifications. So this is for us to get a summary of the social activity that has gone through the HubSpot account. We can have no summary, we can have a daily summary, twice daily, or even a weekly summary if we want to. And yet we want to send a monthly email to ourselves with all of the social media reporting on it. So we would select that here, and this is where you'd set up your follow me buttons. So you add your account into the follow me buttons that you can then use throughout HubSpot. Just add the accounts as you normally would. Click on the account you want to add, suggest what the account will be, and now this whole thing will appear wherever I use the follow me tool in the CMS. If I want to use it on the website, for instance, you can add a YouTube there and select your YouTube. You can see it's really straightforward, right? So this is where we control the social media setup in the marketing tools, not the social media tools themselves. This is where we control the setup. So connect your accounts, select your publishing time, set up email notifications for yourself so you can see what's going on, and even configure your follow me module if you wanted to do that as well.